I'm live. Look at that. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully you can hear me. Like I said, I've got a microphone. If I do this whole live and I'm not audible or there's a terrible echo, I'll have to do it again. I was looking at my YouTube algorithm, which it makes me happy to look at that. And I discovered that my 90 Day Fiancé video that I did outside got like over 200 views. And I was going to do another video outside today, but there's something happening in the neighbor's yard that is loud. Maybe it's a pump going off or something. I don't know what it is, but there's no way I could go outside and be heard over it. So hey, we're back in the cottage. We are in the office where all the magic happens. Well, the magic happens all over the cottage. But for today, this is where the magic is going to happen. I've got my gnome ready to go. There it is. My gnome. I'm the gnome. So, what did you think about last night's episode or yesterday's episode? So, full disclosure, I'm on the Discovery Plus train. I've had Discovery Plus for a few years now. Yes, I pay for the service. No, I don't pay for the ad free. I don't mind watching a few ads here and there. And honestly, I've noticed that with Happily Ever After, there are fewer and fewer ads. In fact, I don't even think we saw one ad. So I don't have cable. We cut cable a few years back. So if you want me to review shows, they've got to be shows that I can watch on a streaming service that I have, like Netflix, Discovery Plus, Hulu. That's it, right? Yeah, I mean, it's possible for me to do some others. All right. I'm 2 minutes into the stream. Is anybody wanting to join me? Hey, if you join me, please leave a comment. Say hi. Make the gnome happy. Kind of leaning into my microphone here. Hopefully, I can be heard. And I did watch my replays, and I noticed I was looking like here half the time. And I'm going to try not to do that. My camera is right there. So if I look, if I give you the bedroom eyes, if I look right at it, then maybe we'll be doing better. Maybe it'll feel like I'm looking at you. So I'm going to go ahead and begin my live stream. Welcome to my channel. I'm Naomi. This is Gnome in the Cottage. Today we are doing a recap, review, reaction of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 7, Episode 4, I think, at 4. And let's get into it. If you're new here, please press that subscribe button. I don't only do reality TV reviews. I'm sort of throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks. I did a video on pickling various and sundry things. Maybe I'll link a card to that video in case you want to see how I pickled. Now, disclaimer, they're still pickling. So I don't know if they came out good or they're terrible or they're going to make me puke or what. But hey, I tried it. What else? Oh, also, again, subscribe, leave a comment, say hello. Hi, Gnome, how you doing? Tell me what you thought of the show. We've got some controversy to talk about involving Angela, actually, and some involving Kim, in my opinion. So let's get into it, shall we? I thought the episode was pretty good. I wasn't over the moon about it. I didn't jump up and down, but I didn't fall asleep either, and neither did my fiance. So that is kind of amazing. Generally, he falls asleep during 90 Day Fiance. And I keep having to wake him up. Hey, you're sleeping. No, I'm not. Maybe a little bit. I'm sure you know what I mean. I don't know why I insist that he stays awake for the show, that I'm sure he just watches it for me. If left to his own devices, he would not be watching 90 Day Fiance. I don't think. All right, who should we start with? Let's start with can we just get Angela out of the way here. Yeah, let's get Angela out of the way. So I saw an article pop up on my Instagram, and I don't have it in front of me to credit the author right now. However, it was, or maybe it was my Google feed that it popped up on. And it said that the fans are calling for Angela Dean to be fired from the show. And the article went on to say that just because of her antics, they want her gone. They're tired of seeing her. And the other person that they want gone is Big Ed. And both of those people show up on the show. So why did TLC do that? Why did TLC cast them? That and Bilal and Shaida seem to be quite the miscast this season, right? Am I wrong? I mean, there are three people. I would say that Angela and Michael aren't a couple yet because we don't really see them interacting together. Did we see a little bit of Michael? Yes, we did. Yes, we did see a little bit of Michael. I have my notes. They're a little out of order. So Angela and Michael, we start off with a shot of Hazelhurst. Hazelhurst, it's really cute. She's teaching the grandkids to ride a bike. There's lots of dogs. I noticed a Rottweiler, a German Shepherd mix. One thing you'll notice about me is I'm going to point out those doggies, those cute little doggies. They call her Mima. I was noticing Angela's legs. I think her legs look good. So there's that. I don't like to shame other women. I just don't. I know people rip on Angela because even, after her surgery, she still has some wrinkles. Well, you know what? We've all got stuff, okay? I think the reason Angela is getting to be somewhat unpopular is, because of her antics. The way she treats Michael borders on is cruel sometimes. So I'm going to use the word triangulate. If you watch Dr. Kirk Honda, one of my favorite YouTubers, he's a psychologist. His YouTube channel is called Psychology in Seattle. And he talks about triangulation. He also reviews 90 Day Fiancé. That is when you and your partner or you and another person are having an issue and you bring another person into it, whether or not they are willing or not, you bring them into it. So she triangulates the grandkids, saying that Michael doesn't support her like she supports them riding the bike. And, I know it's for the cameras, but still, it's just tacky. It's just inappropriate. Shouldn't be done. It's Michael's birthday. She's usually does a lot for her birthday, but right now she wants to call him. She says, "Happy birthday." He says he doesn't have any money and he needs money. Angela calls him an idiot, which again, that's cruel behavior. I don't call my partner an idiot, even in joking fun. That's just not how we play. But Angela says it with venom in her voice, doesn't she? Doesn't she? I think so. That's just not the way you treat your partner. Calling them names. It's cruel. It's very, very cruel, in my opinion. Also, in my opinion, she should be sending him money. Absolutely. Here's why. The foreign cast member does not get paid by 90 Day Fiancé. They don't. So, and Angela wouldn't be on the show if it wasn't for Michael. So send him some money, please. What else? I think, there's this big issue. Why won't he take his Instagram down? And Michael, we do see Michael, thank goodness, at some point on their clip. And Michael says, yeah, I am entitled to have a social media. I don't want to take it down. And you better believe I went and found Michael's social media. I couldn't find it by going on Instagram and looking up Michael 90 Day Fiancé. It didn't happen that way. I had to go to Google and Google what's Michael from 90 Day Fiancé's Instagram. And it's his last name and a underscore and his first name, I think, or maybe it's the opposite. And you better believe I followed Michael. I can't remember his handle, and I don't want to click out of my notes right now to look for it, but I promise you it's there. You should give Michael a follow. He's blocked Angela, Probably because her over the top, obnoxious antics have spilled over into Instagram and she's being a bully and a jerk. And you can just imagine it, right? I can imagine it. So later on in the show, they're going to a buffet. Skyla's there. I like Skyla. She's usually the voice of reason. And they sit down and I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of what they got at the buffet. I mean, they made a whole thing of Angela trying to eat healthy and the grandkids want nothing to do with eating healthy. They want ice cream. I get it. I absolutely understand. So Angela is saying how to Skylar, she's trying to bitch, trying to vent. It's so unfair. He put up his Instagram. Ah, the horror. Skylar says, Mama, Mama, don't you think maybe he's kind of doing it to get back at you because of what you're doing? Sorry, I can't do accents very well. And Angela says, You mean with Billy on TikTok? And then she just explains that the entire reason she's been doing these TikTok dancing double videos with Billy that we saw last episode was because Billy needs a kidney. And Angela used to be a caretaker. I believe when we first met her, she'd said she had been a hospice worker. And so therefore she's this humanitarian who wants to help people get kidneys. But then she goes on to say, well, it's an online crush and there's nothing wrong with having an online crush. But yet, wait a minute, hypocrite, Angela, what do you mean? You just freaked out because because Michael has women on Instagram that he follows. The horror. I mean, really, Angela. You've had these very public TikToks with this guy named Billy, and Michael puts up one little Instagram, and you're going to have a conniption fit, right? You know what? She calls him a social media whore. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's all I'm saying. And so that's it. I'm done. That's all I'm going to say. That was 12 minutes without Angela. Well, I guess 2 minutes I spent introducing myself, so that's good enough. All right, moving on. Jenny and Sumit. My little boy, Alex, which he has a little cameo in my pickling video. He pops in and at the beginning. He says, Hi, it's Alex in the cottage. Well, he watches 90 Day Fiancé with us. He doesn't quite understand what's going on. I know probably I'm a bad mom. Maybe it's not all appropriate for him, but he knows Sumit is from India, and he does like to ask me where people are from and what language they speak. And I was teaching an online class. I volunteer. I teach for actual pay, but once a week on Sundays, I volunteer for a group of adults, global adults. And Alex popped in and he was saying hello it was on Zoom to all of my students. And there was a man from India. And Alex says, Mom, isn't that where Sumit's from? He looks a little like Sumit. I said, well, yes, at least he's making those connections. I'm not sure if that's always going to be a good thing. But anyway, Alex likes Sumit and Jenny. He doesn't quite understand because Alex is 7 years old. But I don't fully understand it either, to be honest with you. I will say about age gaps. My parents had a 23-year age gap. My father was 23 years older than my mother. Hey, I didn't think it was weird. My brothers and sisters on my father's children were my mom's age, right? And I didn't realize it was weird until I was like in high school, and I realized that my dad was like a grandpa's age. And I was absolutely devastated when my father passed away. And I was, in my 30s, I think. And that's like, people lose their parents. But they don't have, Jenny and Sumit don't have kids. I'm just saying, another thing Dr. Honda says, I'm shouting out Dr. Honda a lot, but I trust him as a psychologist. He knows his stuff. There's no empirical data to support that an age difference in a relationship causes any implicit problem, that it's bad in any way. The only problem could be if there's a minor involved and there's exploitation happening, or there's an elderly person involved and they might be being exploited. But in this situation, that's not the case. This couple is in love. Okay, they're going on their honeymoon. They're going to a place called, I'm going to mispronounce it, Rishike. Rishike. Sumit has planned everything. They've had to move back to the old house because Jenny's getting ready for her visa interview. I guess her visa is going to have to change from a tourist visa to a spousal visa, and they might very well do home visits. And Jenny is supposed to be at that old address, so they've got to be there. There's a lot of moving that happens with these people. They move around a lot. They have to move because they're hiding. They're hiding from Sumit's parents. Anyway, so Sumit is talking about the trip that they've planned coming out. He wants to do water sports, he wants to do zip lining, he wants to do hiking, and he wants to do water sports. I think I already said that. And Jenny wants to like lay on the beach. So we're obviously highlighting the difference in age, a 30-something-year-old man and a 60-something-year-old woman. But hey, honestly, I gotta give it to Jenny. She does a lot more adventurous stuff than I've seen many 63-year-old women do. I mean, she was roller skating a couple episodes ago, right? So I get it. I'm with Sumit. I just went ziplining and it was a blast. Check out my Costa Rica video. And I've already linked a card to that in the last video. I'm going to stop doing that. I just got excited because I figured out how to link cards. Jenny just wants to lay by the river and relax. They get in the car. They go to the hotel. It's a resort. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Another thing I just want to say, I just love the way Jenny and Sumit dress. Jenny has absolutely embraced the culture, right? Hasn't she? And she wears Indian clothes and she just looks beautiful. Again, they triangulate. Well, they don't really triangulate, but the poor hotel was a valet, the clerk, is asked to give his opinion on the Jenny Sumit relationship. And the guy says, my parents would be really upset if I married an old lady like that. And we've heard that time and time again. Indian culture says it's not allowable. Well, sorry about that, but Jenny and Sumit are in love. Leave them be. Later on, they get to the room. The room is so beautiful. The sheets have been folded into the shape of a swan. And I just had that experience in Costa Rica. We learned if you tip the people, they do extra stuff for you. So we always had our blanket would be folded into the shape of a whale, and they put the sunglasses on it. It's really cool. The tub had roses in it. It just looked really romantic. They look like they're going to have a fun trip. They do bring up that Sumit wants to work. Jenny doesn't seem to want Sumit to work. Sumit's whole thing is, I'm in my 30s. I could be productive. He says he wants to go back. I'm looking, and he's spoken to his friend Rohit about a food business. Apparently, Sumit used to be a cook. He used to cook. Did we know that? Tell me down in the comments. Did anyone know that Sumit could cook or was a cook? So Jenny says, but I got my retirement coming in. I got my Social Security coming in. I don't need you to be at work all the time. I want you to be with me all the time. And Sumit's like, well, maybe I could take like Mondays off. And Jenny's like, just one day a week we get to be together. That's it. All right. Here's the way I see it. I see where Jenny's coming from. She has changed her whole life, moved to a foreign country, tried to assimilate herself there, and she apparently feels she has the means to support both of them. But Jenny, Sumit has every right to work. Imagine if the roles were reversed and it was a man telling a woman, you can't go to work. I want you to be with me all the time. People would come unglued, right? Just imagine if the roles were reversed. That's all I'm thinking. Also, she wants Sumit home all the time. I mean, a relationship, I get it. They want to be together all the time, but once you're married or once you're living together in a committed relationship, I mean, that's just the way it is. People go to work. That doesn't mean you don't spend some time together, like you're home together at night. If you're lucky, I mean, look at Jovi and Yara. He's gone for 3 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it is. My fiance, up until a few years ago, used to work on a professional IMSA racing team as in the pit. He would travel around the country with the crew, and he'd be gone for weeks at a time, always. And I just had to live with it. I mean, and now he's a teacher, so now he gets summers off. And I work from home, so people come and go. My fiance goes to work, comes home. My son goes to school, comes home. I log in, log out. I pretty much stay right here in the cottage. I'm like the woman in the yellow wallpaper. No, I'm just kidding. I'm much happier than she is. I like the cottage. I love this house. Okay. So that's basically, it's not any big controversy there. It's just Submit wants to work. Jenny says, I don't want you to work. And again, role reversal. Think about it the other way around. How would we feel about it in that case? All right. Let's go to Ed and Liz. All right. I always make a weird face when I cover this couple. You want to know why? They're annoying. Sorry, Ed. Sorry, Liz. I try to get behind liking Ed a little bit, but it's difficult. It's difficult with all the crap that he's done in the past, the really horrendous crap that at least we've seen filtered through social media lens, filtered through, remember the leaked recording that Liz made? But Liz, why did you leak that recording? Just curious. And then get back together with him. I mean, that's kind of like, I think as adults, we all learn this at some point in relationships. When you go to your best friend or your mom or whoever, your sister, your brother, and you complain about your significant other over and over and over, and you talk about the big fights and the big blowups and the really horrible things, and then you leave and then you go back to them, you're going to get a lot of shit for it, and no one's really going to support the relationship. Well, guess what, Liz? What you did is you went to us, the audience, as your sister, your best friend, your mother, and you talked all this shit about how bad the relationship was, and now you're back with them. Hey, I get it. I've been there. Okay, I've not been with Ed, but I've been in the situation. That's where, so I learned from that. I learned, ways to talk about my relationship problems and who to talk about those problems with, where it's not going to be a huge, what is it called, eating crow issue when I get back with them. So what are they doing? They're still having this big tiff after the photo shoot. I'm going to make this quick because I found it a bit ridiculous. Ed is talking to Alex. Supposedly that's Liz's friend. I don't know if I buy that 100%. I believe that was a model that TLC picked to play the part of Liz's friend, the model for this fight. And I do believe it was a staged fight. But maybe not. Who the hell knows? Certainly not I. I think that... Hold on. Let me just get myself a little bit more energy here. Okay. I put here, Alex is trying to be very diplomatic, not take Ed's side, not take Liz's side, maybe actually saying that Ed should apologize to Liz for being rude. And she does, Alex says, yeah, I see kind of where she, where she said that I looked like I had no neck. That was probably a valid criticism. Ed says that because one of them is a Gemini, one of us is a Taurus. That's the problem. Okay, let me be real with you. I am, for lack of a better word, I'm a woo-woo person. Okay, I collect crystals and I smudge with sage and I read tarot cards, but I don't study astrology. My grandmother did. She was very good at it. I just don't. It doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't connect. It doesn't have some something to it. I just don't know it. I know I'm a Virgo and I don't act anything like a Virgo and I'm nothing like a Virgo. Virgos are supposed to be neat and obsessive compulsive in some ways or have those tendencies. That isn't me. I'm not persnickety. I can't organize to save my life. Most people look at at a pile in a room or some papers or mess and they see organization. It goes to I don't. No idea. It just is not in me. So anyway, I don't know about Taurus Gemini being the problem. Maybe that is the problem. You tell me. Let me know in the comments. I mean, is that the problem with Ed and Liz? I don't think so. I do see that the problem, Ed's calling it a maturity issue. And guess what? I kind of said the same thing before it came out of his mouth. Liz is a little immature. To be honest with you, she really is. And there's nothing wrong with that. She's pouting on the bench. He goes over to her. They have a conversation. Ed feels like Liz is acting immature. They think they apologize to each other. They agree that they should not work together on photo shoots, which I happily agree with. Don't do that again. And we find out that Ed has been controlling in the past. Well, that makes sense to me. Ed needs a woman who's not going to take that shit. Ed needs a woman who is secure enough in herself to not be controlled. The first time that Ed made some comment, I'm trying to get you to be more blank, or I wish you would not go out. I would put a stop to that. That is okay, that's not going to fly with me. You need a woman who's got her own independence, who's secure enough in herself, who doesn't need to keep coming back to that person who's just going to blow smoke up their ass and beg them. I've been in relationships where I've been worn down in the past. Oh, come back. I swear things will be different this time. I promise to think about the kids. Think about this. Think about that. I can't live without you. That's the kind of shit Liz has probably heard. And it wears you down. It really does. And nothing ever changes. Nothing ever changes. What's the point? There's no point. Okay, so they apologize. She does in the confessional say, I'm feeling dad come out. And no one wants to screw their dad at night. That's true. I'm hoping. And, I guess that's the problem. Maybe you are seeing Ed as a father figure because he is older than you. Is Ed acting like a father figure to you? I've been in relationships with older men before. They didn't act anything like my dad. So, I mean, that isn't necessarily a product of an age difference. That's a personality thing. That's a controlling thing. I think we see, I'm not sure if it's a coming up clip or in this episode, that Liz confides to Alex that he comments on her weight. He looks at old pictures of her and asks if she ever wants to go back down to her former size. And it makes her feel shitty about herself. And hey, that would make me feel shitty about myself too. So you got a lot to think about there, Liz, with this man. Is it worth it? You're young. You've got a daughter. And he's immature emotionally and maybe not for you. I mean, that's just my opinion. So we're going to move on from you. We're going to go to Kim and Uzman. Yeah, I'm just absolutely disgusted at this point with Kim. Sorry, Kim. I like you. So here's what happens. It's their first day in Abuja. And the issue is still about second wife. Kim is quite clear. She doesn't have any desire when Uzman, and it will be a when, not an if. When Uzman takes second wife or third wife or fourth wife, but right now Kim is trying to wrap her mind around second wife. When Kim takes second, or when Uzman takes second wife, she wants nothing to do with that wife. I've got a lot to say about that. I watched another YouTuber who I very much like, Auntie's Advice, and she was very upset about Kim's comment about Uzman last week saying Uzman would have to bleach his me Yemi, after he slept with his second wife before he slept with Kim. Auntie felt that that was, and I thought that was extreme. I kind of agree. It was extremely disgusting. Auntie's take on it was that Kim was saying that in general Nigerian women um the thought of him sleeping with a Nigerian woman would be so repulsive to Kim that he'd have to do that. And you know what? That is flat out disgusting, Kim. And any woman, any woman, even if you just meant any woman, why are you so hateful to other women? Why don't you want them to have love? So basically, Kim, you said it. You came out and you said it. You said in this episode, do I have the quote? You basically said, and I'm going to have to paraphrase, that you had been under the impression, based on what Uzman had told you, that the job of second wife would basically be to be a baby making factory over in Nigeria, never to be seen or heard. How disgusting. What the hell's wrong with you, Kim? Who says something like that? Who says something like that? You should probably come out and do a public apology. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. And it's not legal. Remember, there's a such a thing as human rights. We don't allow, it's just not done. You can't subjugate. You can't enslave someone. You also can't deprive someone of love. I mean, that's not illegal, but it's wrong. Why you thought that second wife wouldn't get any love? Well, you got your ass set straight in this episode, Kim, didn't you? So they're meeting with Usman's friend Kabiru, who has multiple wives. And the idea is for him to sort of answer some questions and make Kim feel better. And maybe clear the air a little bit and make everything make sense to Kimberly. And you know what? Kabiru says that all the wives have to be treated equally. He says if the man, my dog is barking. He says if, uh-oh. Y'all, hold on a minute. I have to go check. The chickens are running around. There could be a wild animal on my property. Hold on. Coming back. Coming. Sammy, calm down. Sorry for the interruption. I'll try to edit that out, or maybe it'll be more entertaining. I have a bunch of chickens and ducks, and it's not normal that somebody would come on my property, but we have had the occasional somebody got their dog got loose and has gotten loose and almost killed my chickens. And we do have fox and I think coyotes. So if my dog's freaking out, I have to go check. I hope you understand. It doesn't. All the chickens and ducks seem to be quacking. Well, not the chickens. They're cool. Quack. And then I don't hear my rooster. And if there's danger, he goes "Arr, arr, arr," really loudly. So I don't know what's going on. But I saw chickens out there. They didn't go running away, and I didn't see a big fluff of feathers. So hopefully we're okay. So Kabiru, hope I'm saying his name right, says if the man loves one of the other wives more than the rest, he has to hide it because they have to be treated equally. And Kim is absolutely not okay with that. And she basically says that Uzman lied to her. Uzman misrepresented the situation. And he actually talks about having many wives. And also, Kabiru says, you know what would be really great if the second wife and the children go to the USA too. What a great opportunity that would be for them. And Kim says, what the F? Well, she says the F word. I'm just being cognizant. I normally wouldn't swear, I don't think, on my channel. What the F? She says. Um, Now, Usman feels very disrespected. At this point, Kim does the same freaking, I can say that thing that she's done in the past. And again, this is abusive behavior. It's absolutely disgusting and she shouldn't do it. She throws a milkshake. It's violent on both of them. Not just Usman, but his very nice friend. This is what the world gets to see on their television sets. Americans acting disgusting, showing horrible behavior in other countries to other people. Who does that? You don't throw a drink on somebody. It's not cute. It's not funny and it's not cool. And there is zero excuse for doing it. Zero. None. I'm not okay with it. Kim, that was wrong. Lisa did it. Cameo did it last season. Ariella's in-laws did it. It's never okay to throw a drink at someone. A, it's a waste of that drink, and B, it's actually violent. It's actually assault. Why is that okay to do to people, Kim? Why? It's not. You're gonna rank right up there with Angela Deem if you keep it up. Stop. It's not a good look. And I like you, Kim. Well, I liked you, but now I'm starting to have a totally different opinion. You come out here wanting to subjugate Nigerian women, make them into baby factories, not allow them to have any love, respect, or affection. And then you take these two Nigerian men, one of which is supposed to be your boyfriend, and you violently attack them with a milkshake, Kim. Good grief. Ah! So it's disgusting. And the friend is disgusted. She's just not giving American women a very good name. Men and women of the world, Kim and Angela and Ed, do not represent all American people. Okay? Just know that. Usman is upset. He feels disrespected. He says in the confessional in Nigeria, she's supposed to be 100% submissive. Now, I'm not on board with that, but I do know that's the culture. But to show respect, I think the partners should show respect to each other. Absolutely. And Kim didn't do that, especially around his friends. He felt embarrassed. He's ready to send her packing back to the United States of America. And I don't know what other result she thought her temper tantrum would have, honestly. Who wouldn't send you packing? Who wouldn't? I'd love to know. So he says, yeah, I need to talk to you. And he's serious about it. He's not violent. He says, I need to talk to you. She doesn't want to talk. Now, the case she makes to excuse her behavior, her deplorable, disgusting behavior, is that he'd been interrupting. That it? Yeah. He'd been interrupting her. What? Now, I didn't go back and watch the replay, but I didn't see the interrupting as a big issue at all. At all. I saw Kim flipping out about being jealous over having a second wife. And the second wife actually might be treated like a human being. The horror. I'm quoting Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. That was Kurtz's last words. The horror. Talk about disgusting things. All right. Anyway, Usman says, I'm glad you're revealing this kind of attitude now. He's gonna send her packing. We see some upcoming clips, and it looks like they're still they're still right in this fight. So, all right. Oh, a couple of other quotes. he says this is not healthy for us. It's better that we call it off. Get your plane ticket and go. Okay, is that it? Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to Belial and Shaida. Quite the miscast, Belial and Shaida. Miscast. Why do I say miscast? Do any of us want to watch this couple anymore? No. I'm speaking for myself, and I believe I'm speaking for the majority of the 90 Day Fiancé universe. We don't want to see them. So they're shopping. And my fiance says, did we see this exact scene in the last episode? And it kind of was familiar to me. If you remember seeing this scene in the last episode, write it in the comments. But we've seen iterations of this scene in multiple episodes where they go shopping for home decor. So that, Jovi and Yara did this. I think Bilal and Shaina did this. And they go to this expensive ass store and she wants to buy a pillow, and it's a $250 pillow. And Bilal has to break down the expense of the pillow for her, and a $285 backgammon game. And he suggests that they buy a newlyweds book, and it talks about, he opens to a section called The Spender and the Saver, pointing out that he's the saver and she's the spender. You know what? Honestly, I am not the financial brains behind this operation in my house, and I'm aware of that. That's why I don't try. I leave it up to the person who's better at finances than I am. I know what my weaknesses are. And Shaida, you know what? I really don't care. You want $250 pillow for what? Who needs a $250 pillow? But okay, that is the least of my concerns. I'm more interested in, so they go to the next store over is a baby store. And they go in. And she's all agog, her eyes open wide. She just wants a baby so badly. And Bilal clearly doesn't. He clearly doesn't. He says she's jumping the gun. I thought we had this settled. And now she mentions going to her fertility specialist, and he agrees reluctantly. I think she's 38. She believes that 40, and she's going to be too late for her to have kids. Well, I had a baby at 38, I think. Yeah. 39? That's possible, yeah. But the bigger issue is Bilal doesn't seem to want to have a baby. There's things you can definitely do to make yourself, if you've got healthy eggs, if you've got a few, there's things that you can do. I don't know. I don't know exactly what those things are, but they're expensive, but I think Bilal can afford it, but he doesn't want a kid. That's the problem. So he basically says, once we have a kid, life stops. That's how he feels about kids. Some people think that that's the best part about life. I love having kids. My parents brought me everywhere with them. I went on every single trip. They never left me home. I adventured. I was part of it. I was part of life. I wasn't like an extra problematic appendage to their life that they had to stop or slow down their happy, fulfilled lives to deal with. That's the kind of parents I had, and that's the kind of parent I strive to be. So Bilal later on meets with his mom. He says multiple times he absolutely does not want children right now. Now, I'm confused about the prenup because the mom and Bilal reference the prenup. And the mom says, I thought this had been settled. I thought you all had agreed to wait. I didn't see the prenup. Did anybody? Did anybody watching this video see the prenup? Let me know. Yeah, I didn't see it. I thought they had agreed to have children, not wait, which is a weird thing to put in a prenup, right? I mean, isn't biology and nature come into play? You're going to sue Mother Nature. You sue your biological clock. Tick, 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 tick. Now, mom understands. Bilal, mom understands. Now, by the way, I just want to mention Bilal's mother is beautiful. Her headscarf, I don't think it's a hijab. I don't know what you call it when it's wrapped up like a headscarf. Somebody educate me, inform me. What is it called? Muslim women wear a head covering. Sometimes it's a hijab, and sometimes it's a headscarf. Anyway, the one she's wearing is red with a beautiful kind of pattern with what looks like gold and other colors. And she's wearing a black dress with a beautiful pendant, like a silver pendant hanging down. She just looks gorgeous. She exudes wisdom and common sense, doesn't she? I love women like that. I love seeing strong, beautiful women on our TVs. She mentioned she sees some red flags. Belial says, I don't know what red flags that she's seeing. Maybe the fact that they're disagreeing on this major issue, even though they had discussed it previously. She says that Belial says that having a child too early could cripple their marriage. Well, yeah, here's the thing. They don't get along. They don't. Bringing a child into that marriage might not be the best idea. I agree with that. But you don't need a man to have a baby. You don't need a man to raise a child. You don't. Some people might disagree with me on that. But if she really wants to have a baby, she should look into options to have the baby. Now, if Belial doesn't want to be a part of that, then she needs to X Belial out of the picture and go about having the baby in other ways and be a single mom. But bringing a child into that toxic relationship, it would not be healthy. Either be single and have your baby, or go to counseling, go to therapy, and get with the program, people. All right, what else? I've talked all I want to. Okay, so that was it with Bilal and Shaida. There was nothing that exciting about them. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing somebody. We did Uzman and Kim. We talked about Ed and Liz. We talked about Jenny and Sumit. We talked about Angela. We didn't talk about Andre. We didn't talk about Libby. Let's talk about them. So it opens up. Libby is meeting with a voice coach, and she's warming up her voice. I love Libby. She's going, "How now, brown cow?" So she's got some voice training. She said she's had voice coaches in the past. She says singing is therapy for her, and she lacks confidence. Libby, you do? Come on, you've been on Pillow Talk. You've been on this show. Maybe you do lack confidence. I don't know. I don't mean to say being on a reality TV show means you've got a ton of confidence, but you seem pretty good in that area. You seem to hold your own with Andre, and Andre requires a strong, confident woman. But anyway, she says she didn't feel supported by her family in singing, like it was taken like a joke. No surprise there. Have you seen her sisters and her family and how they treat each other? I think, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but Libby's the youngest, right? I'm pretty sure Libby's the youngest. So I can absolutely see them treating her singing like a joke and wanting to sing like a joke. So she sings very, very interesting. She's saying, what is she saying? She sings, Mary had a little lamb. Yeah, see, I can't sing at all. And it reminded me of like, oh, holy night. Like Luciano Pavarotti, only not. It reminded me of Mary Had a Little Lamb, the Christmas gospel version. And then I think she tried the Itsy Bitsy Spider. The Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Up came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider climbed up that spout again. See, that's why people ask me not to sing. Okay. So she's saying those things, and she got the serious stink eye from the voice coach, didn't she? Like, you want to sing nursery rhymes? You want to what? Why would you shame that? Seriously. Have you seen how many people have kids? And have you seen how much those kids love songs? I think you could do pretty well in that market. Now, I don't know anything about anything. Well, I know a few things about a few things, but nursery rhyme market singing is not my wheelhouse at all. So the voice coach says she sounds a little pitchy, flat. And I did actually, the next time Libby sang, I did hear the pitchiness. Not that I wanted to talk. You just heard I can't sing to save my life. But you got to hear it right here on YouTube. The agent's name is Roxy. Kind of gave her a reality check. Kind of shat on her dream a little bit. But you know, what can you expect? And told her the next step is going to be to make a music video. So I bet you anything we're going to see a Libby music video being produced from the show and added to the collection of music videos we've seen from the show. What have we seen at this point? I think we've seen Darcy and Stacy have a music video, but I could be wrong about that. Vinny, Uzman, I don't know who else. You let me know. Dancey, dancey, I don't know the words. And I'll be there for you. That's all I can remember. All right. So Libby, okay, so then they go back to the house. Libby's father-in-law, Andres' grandpa, is coming to visit. I like him. We've seen him in Moldova. Very mild-mannered, pleasant man. He doesn't speak any English. There's a German Shepherd dog in the house. And of course, they've got this gorgeous, enormous house. And the dad comes in and is like, wow, you're doing great, Andre. I'm impressed. Andre is super excited to show off the big house. Grandpa is super duper proud. I can't imagine. That must be pretty cool. You know, my kid made it. Wow, he's got this enormous house, this beautiful wife and family here in America. And wow, this is just something that the dad is quite proud of. Now, Grandpa is a happy man. And they go for ice cream. And they triangulate, Dad, about the whole issue with Charlie. There we go, Charlie. They talk about Charlie has an addiction issue. He's an alcoholic and he's got a real problem. And I don't know, I might have read somewhere, and I actually don't know, and I don't want to spread rumor, but it might be more than just alcoholism. I suspect it. Just I've picked up some things here and there in my watching and reading, and I know an addict when I see them. I know it. I know what it looks like, and I understand. Okay, no shame, for Charlie, but Andre and Libby have drawn a boundary, and they don't want that they don't want that around the family. They don't want that around baby Eleanor. And Dad says something in a community when someone needs help. It's best to work together to solve the problem. In other words, don't ostracize the addict. It's kind of a fine line, right? It's kind of a dance you have to do between enabling and drawing safe boundaries for yourself. What came to mind to me is it takes a village, not just to raise a child, but to help an addict, to help somebody through trauma. I have compassion for Charlie in some ways, but I also think Charlie's an asshole. Drunk or sober, high or sober, he's an asshole. That's my thing. So anyway, then we find out that Andre is going to meet with Pam, Libby's mom, to discuss the possibility of Libby and Andre going to Pam's birthday party where Charlie will be. And Andre's like, yeah, I'm going to have to give Pam an attitude adjustment. I said, good grief. Saying that about your mother-in-law? That's just, wow. But that's Andre for you. So they go to a cafe. And what my fiance notices right off the bat is Charlie parks in a compact parking spot. And he's got a big old truck. Anyway, they sit down. Pam says, I want you guys all at my birthday party. And but let's talk about first what happened last time at the housewarming party. We had a big fight. And Andre says, yeah, I was mad because you compared my drinking to Charlie's drinking. And that's not a fair comparison. And Mom, rather than backing up her side of that argument, saying it is a fair comparison, She doesn't. She says, okay, I hear what you're saying. I get it. Because what mom wants to do is mom wants Andre to agree to let his family come to her, I think it's her 50th birthday party. Andre says, it's not going to happen. I can't do accents. It's a bad idea after the barbecue fight, especially if Eleanor is there. I have a duty that is to protect my family. Well, I mean, that's kind of like what he said, right? It's not going to happen. He's drawn a very firm boundary. Now, and Pam's like, you're being judgmental. He says, yes, I'm being judgmental. And guess what, guys? I'm going to let you in on a secret. As human beings, we are judgmental. That's part of what we do as thinking human beings is we look at situations, we look at people, and we make judgments. They could be good judgments. They could be bad judgments. They might not fall into the, what's the word? By black and white box of good or bad. But, we are judgmental as human beings. So he says, yeah, I'm being judgmental. And Pam says, you're taking the coward's way out, which I'm sure she said to trigger Andre because Andre wouldn't like being called a coward. And Andre doesn't take the bait. I mean, he sounds aggressive when he's talking, but that's just his manner. He says, look, I am not going to let my family be around Charlie until I see some action. And he starts to say professional help, but he gets cut off. Pam says he's building walls. Andre feels like his boundaries aren't being respected. Well, I would agree with that. He feels that Pam just wants to put on an image of having a happy family where everything is great. Yeah, seems like it. I mean, what's the big, if she wants everybody at her birthday party, and Andre said, no, that is not especially, and I kind of get it. Remember that barbecue? There was a fist fight. It was a disaster. And I think there were kids there at that barbecue. He doesn't want his daughter around that. That's toxic and dangerous, not to mention dangerous. So there you have it. I think Andre in this situation is making the right call, but that's just my opinion. Now, did I hit every couple? We're under an hour. We got Angela. We got Jenny and Submit. We got Ed and Liz. We got Andre. We got Kim and Newsom. We didn't see Yara and Jovi, but we do next time. We got Bilal and Sheeta. Next time we're gonna see Yara having a week after Ukraine having been invaded, and I think I'm probably going to cry because that's going to be pretty upsetting for me to watch. I just feel bad for her. Well, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. If you got through my singing and you survived, thank you. From me to you, I wish you adieu and good day. Peace and love. Goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Next time I'll see you. Or no, wait. I'll see you next time. Bye.